Hi guys, Cassie here. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to make this beautiful reverse canvas sign today. So first what you'll want to do is take your canvas, flip it over, and on the back side, take a razor blade knife and you're just going to cut the canvas off. Next, you'll want to start at the corners and just peel them up. Sometimes they're a little tougher and don't cut all the way through, so you can just keep your razor blade knife out or some scissors and just help it along. And now you have your canvas and you have your beautiful frame. The materials that you will need for this are the frame that you cut the canvas off of, your stain of choice. I like to use the Minwax Jacob bean, some gloves, I use a sock, but you can use a rag, and then of course the paint can opener. Now we're going to stain the frame. So I dip the sock into the stain and then just rub it along the wood. You want to make sure you rub in any excess and don't really have any watered up or pooled up anywhere. Make sure to get into the corners, and then along these edges there's kind of a little rough patch where the wood connects to each other. So what I do is take the sock and just kind of dab it on there so that you can get more stain on those parts that kind of absorb it quite a bit. And finally, I like to let it dry overnight so that it's fully cured. Now we are going to apply our heat transfer vinyl to the canvas. So first we'll take the canvas that we already cut off the frame and go ahead and press it for just a couple seconds. Now you can see how flimsy and pliable the canvas is. Now we'll take our heat transfer vinyl design that we have, place it onto the canvas, the Teflon sheet, and then press it down all the way. You only do this for about 5 seconds, peel off the transfer sheet, and then do it for another 5 seconds, and that's it. I like to do mine at 305 degrees, and you can see here how great it's adhered to the canvas. Now that we have finished putting our design onto our canvas, and our frame is all stained and cured, it's time to put them back together. First, what you'll do is put the frame on top of the canvas and just line it up. You can measure it, or like I do, just eyeball it. And once you have it straight, you go ahead and hold it tight and then flip it over. And then I have a staple gun. I use this Stanley electric staple gun. I find that it's a lot easier to use than just the standard handheld manual one. You'll go ahead and start with nailing in or stapling in the corners first. So you do the two opposite, and then you'll do the other two. And when you're doing this, you pull the canvas as tight as you can. Then you'll start doing the sides, and each time you're putting in a staple, you want to pull the canvas as tight as you can. This will make sure that there's no baggy and sagging in the canvas once you're finished. Now what I like to do is use about 3 staples on the short side and 5 staples on the long side. Of course, that's up to you. You can do much more. I wouldn't recommend too many less, otherwise you'll get some sagging in the canvas. And if you're wondering why I'm using a towel, I'm just protecting my wood floors because it was negative degrees in Colorado, so I wasn't about to do this outside. And this is what it will look like after you have all those staples in. So it's a little unfinished, but we'll go ahead and fix that. Now, if you do have any staples that didn't quite go in all the way, you can see this one kind of poking up. Simply just take a hammer, hammer it down as straight as you can to make sure it goes into the wood. Of course, if you break the staple, just take it out with some pliers. Now to give this its finishing touch. You just take some scissors and you cut along the edges, making sure that you cut enough of the canvas away that you're not going to be able to see any peeking out of the front. Now, I don't mind having a little bit of an unfinished edge. If you'd like, you could take a razor blade, make it more straight, with a razor blade and a ruler. You could do a lot more measuring. In my opinion, this is the back, and the unfinished is never going to be seen, so that's totally fine. So you can see here how it's nice and tight. And then if I flip it over the right way, you can see kind of our final product. Looks amazing. This turned out great, and I think it's something that you or I or anyone would buy from a store. So I think that's really cool that we were able to make it ourselves.